Hey guys, welcome to the first video on my channel. Please make sure you subscribe for more makeup tutorials and more styling sessions with me. So at the end of this video I will show you a montage of all the different styles that you can wear this look with, and I'll show you how to get this look as well. So make sure you do subscribe and have a look at my website. It'll all be linked down below in the description box. Okay, so my camera actually stopped filming right here, but I am using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer for an eyeshadow base, just to make it more pigmented and to conceal any of the veins or discoloration. Okay, so once you've put that down, just take a flat shader brush. Only use this for concealer, otherwise you'll be washing your brushes 100 times a day, and then just spreading this out. Just like that. Make sure you get right up and underneath the brow bone. I find it really gives me a good line to work with when I go to do my eyebrows. Make sure you get your inner corner as well, because it can be quite dark under there. So once that's all spread out, just take a damp beauty blender and just blend it out. This is just so it's all even, there's no streaks. Okay, so of course with any liquid products you want to set it so that way any powders don't stick on top. We're going to use the Rimmel Stay Matte. This is just the translucent shade. This is by far the best powder for setting, I find. It just works really well. My eyeshadows don't stick, which is definitely not what you want. So I just use the fluffiest eyeshadow brush that I can possibly find. Use a light hand because you don't want that concealer to move. Okay, so now that that's done, I like to just do my eyebrows whilst I let that just set in and really sink into the skin. So I use the Smashbox Brow Tech to go in the shade Brunette. This side I always start with the tail because it's literally got nothing. Okay, so once they're even, I just take a brow gel through it. This actually has a brow gel on the other end and it's just clear, so I just push all my eyebrow hairs up just to really set them in place and make them look more natural. Because you don't want eyebrows where you can't even see that there's hair there, because they just look so unnatural. They can also look quite uneven as well. So that's them done. Okay, so back to the eyes. So today I'm going to go for more of a subtle glam look. I don't want to be too dramatic and intense, so I want to keep it really glowy. So I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Rose Gold Textured Palette. This is my favorite go-to palette of all time. So I'm going to start off using Sandalwood as my transition shade. You're just so pigmented, it's crazy. So I want to take that all in my crease and also right around, so nearly like a halo but just on the top. With my eye shape, halo eyes tend to suit me better. This brush I'm using is just from Mecca. It's just a blending brush. It was the fluffiest one I could see there. Okay, so the next shade that I'll use is Henna, which I'll put in my crease only just to really deepen it. So we're going for more of like an orangey look. More like a bronze kind of. So this one you do want to be quite particular where you put it, otherwise you'll end up just deepening the entire eye, but you really want to give your eyes dimension. Okay, so just to deepen it up a little bit more, we're going to take the Cocoa shade from the same palette. So you want to really keep this to your outer V and your crease. And then just swipe the rest of the product on your brush over. We're going to take a smaller blending brush to do this, so it's still quite fluffy. Like I said, we're not doing a halo eye. But for me, I like to bring the product quite further in, so that way it makes my eyes keep like rounded and big. It's all in there. So you want to keep it to your outer V and blend into the crease. So that's why we needed a smaller blending brush. Okay, now that all that blending's done in our crease and our outer V, we're going to do a half cut crease kind of with the Stila Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow Liquid Eyeshadow. And this is the shade Kitten Karma. There's been so many people raving about this, especially this shade, so I'm excited to see how this goes. It's like a rose gold nearly, but it's got some like white gold specks. That's amazing. Oh Jesus, that is amazing. Okay, so I'm just going to keep my eyes closed for a little bit just so that way it can dry, because it's really quite wet. I used the applicator to try and blend that out, but this side I picked up too much product. So once it's dry, we can take that transition shade and blend it out. Okay, so I've waited 3 minutes and it's perfectly dry, so I'm just going to take our transition shade Sandalwood again and just buff out those edges. Okay, so now that the eyes are done, I'm just going to move on. So I'm going to moisturize first. This is the Pure Argan Milk by Jasmin Maree. This is amazing. You only really need a little bit. Well, that was way too much. Because it spreads so much. So now that we're all moisturized, take a primer. So this is the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. So I'm just going to pop that onto the back of my hand. And now this is just going to go into all of my problem areas. So places that I have really bad pores or fine lines. So I really like to get a heap of that underneath my eyes. I find it helps my concealer not go so creasy when I bake. So you don't really want to rub it, you just kind of want to tap it in. So just through here, it's so good for retexturizing your skin. Because that primer makes my face go quite red, I like to use the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Marine Boosting Mist. So this is a moisturizer, a setting spray, a priming spray as well. But this really cools down my skin and also really smells amazing. So now I'm primed, I'm just going to move on to foundation. So I'll use the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation in the shade Light 49 Neutral. So I just put that back on the back of my hand as well. This one's quite dark. I use this when I've got a tan and I don't have much of a tan left. So I'm going to use that quite sparingly to make sure it can kind of match my skin tone. So this is the Sports Girl Buffer Brush. And you just use circular motions to really work that into your skin. So you really want to work it up into your hairline, especially when you've got such a difference in colour between your foundation and your natural skin tone. So I never fake tan my face, I always just match it with foundation. Foundation's got such a good coverage. Like I said, I go so red. And you literally wouldn't even be able to tell. So... but because it is such a difference in colour, you really want to work that down your neck. Okay, so even though we just buffed that into the skin, I still like to use just a damp beauty blender just to really go over it, make sure it doesn't look any patchy, and really push it into the skin so it stays for as long as possible. Especially if you're going to go out, when you get all sweaty, you don't want your foundation to go anywhere. Okay, so now that our foundation's all blended in, it's time to move on to concealer. So I use the Sephora High Coverage Concealer in the Natural Finish, and mine's in the shade Peach. So this, I find, is just a little bit lighter than my foundation, and it really brightens up any dark circles. If I can get it to open. Oh my god, it feels is not opening. Okay, I got it. So we're just going to pop this directly underneath our eyes. I like to bring mine down quite a bit too because I get so red right here. Okay, then we're just going to blend that with the damp beauty blender. See, the colour's so nice. So to set underneath the eyes, I'm going to use the Australis Banana Powder. I've hit pan on this one and it's so sad. But it really is amazing at cancelling out those dark undertones. Again, you really want to be quite light-handed with this. I use a brush. Oh, can you hear that? That's my kitten. Hang on. Thought I was talking to someone, but I'm just talking to myself. Hey, baby. Say hello. Okay, so we're just going to keep going with that banana powder. Like I said, really dab that on. It's really important to set quite quickly, otherwise you will crease all underneath your eyes if you're like me and you have a million bags. To set the rest of the face, we're just going to go back in with that Rimmel Stay Matte, which I'm also hitting the pan already, and I've had this for I think like 2 weeks, but I use it that often. So that happens, I like to still go underneath my eyes a bit to add a little bit of extra coverage, because like I said, it goes so red there. But yeah, it's super important to set your foundation as well, because when you go in for bronzing and highlighting, you don't want it to be all sticky and go all muddy. Okay, so now we're all set. We're going to move on to bronzer. So this is the MAC Give Me Sun. This is quite orange for people who don't like to be orange, but I love the tone, especially because I use tan so often. It literally just makes everything look so much better, and it complements that shade of foundation that I use so nicely as well. Sometimes I'll contour, but if I use this bronzer I won't, because it can look quite muddy. So I just contour with this, and you will see when it all comes together that it does just as good of a job. And to really make that sharp, you're just going to grab the Stay Matte powder, a damp beauty blender, just pick that up, and then go directly under, and it'll really clean up that contour, or bronzing. And I dust that back off almost immediately because you don't want it to be too white. My absolute favourite step, highlight. So I'm going to use the exact same brush again. That might sound so weird that I use the same brush for so many things, but this is literally one of the best brushes I've ever used. It's the Eco Tools brush. I got it from Priceline in a set, and it is amazing. So you might think, why are you using a brush like that for your highlight? But you will see, because it's so dense, it makes it so nice and intense, and I love it so much. I'm going to use the Too Faced Prismatic. This is in the shade Blinded by the Light, and it is amazing. So of course, no matter how amazing it is, just to make it more intense, you always want to use a bit of Fix Plus from MAC on the brush and on your face. And then almost a dab. Oh my god. That is amazing. Ah! Holy heck. Actually, this is one of the best highlighters I've ever used. I can't believe that highlight. Oh my god. So I like to do my nose highlight first before I do my nose contour, but now I'm just going to use that same bronzer, go in with an eyeshadow brush, and just kind of run that just down the sides a little bit. Like that. Okay, so I'm just going to finish off underneath the eyes. So I'm just going to take a flat shaded brush and then take some of Cocoa and just put it on the outer corner, just underneath the lash line. You don't want to go on top of it. Okay, so just blending that. And then use the Moon Dust shade in the Huda Beauty palette. Okay, so I have lash extensions, so I don't put any false lashes on or eyeliner at the moment, because I just got them today and you can't actually put any water on them and you can't wet them at all, so I won't be able to get the eyeliner off when I remove all my makeup. So no eyeliner today. So I'm just going to move straight into the lips. So I'm just going to use this lip crayon. I got it from Sephora because it just opened. I think it's a Sephora brand. It's Nude Sticks in the shade Mystic. So once that base is down, I don't know whether it's safe for your lips, but it is just, again, the Pure Argan Milk by Josie Run. I like to just put a little bit on there before I put any liquid lipsticks down to stop it from drying. Disclaimer, I don't know whether this is lip safe, so if you do it, you're doing it at your own risk. So what liquid lipstick are we using? I got the new Kylie Cosmetics Send Me More Nudes matte liquid lipstick set. This is beautiful. I love the shades, love the formula. The packaging is super pretty too. Just goes out like that. And then There's 4. I've got one in my hand. So the one we'll be using today is Bear. So it's like a pinky kind of dark nude colour. But yeah, these 3 are just as pretty. It's such just a nice colour. Okay, so that's the final look. I'm absolutely living for this highlight and this lip shade. So this is my go-to glam look. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Just to end off this clip, I thought that I would do a bit of a montage of looks that you could wear with this look, all from Doll Parts Boutique. Make sure that you go give the website a look. The link will be down below in the description box. Thank you.
Okay, because this eye look actually has a burgundy purpley undertone, I think the Rapunzel bralette would work really well, or alternatively the Mystic Velvet tie top with the Impossible shorts that would tie it all really nicely together. And you can actually get these looks and the site-wide 20% off with my discount code VIDEOLOVE1. Thanks guys!